Hey Mind Wanderers, another IGTV Live for all of you with yours truly. My name is Sam Led. I am a life strategist and trauma coach in beautiful Santa Barbara, California. Hope everyone's having a great Sunday evening or Sunday morning, wherever you are in the world. And Bella Fleck and Flecktones. Awesome. Hey Escape, welcome. Tonight we're going to talk about, and this is not an easy topic to talk about because it's not there's no clear-cut solutions, but there are ways of dealing with you when you are going through a major life challenge, when you are still stuck in the past because you are still grieving the loss of someone. So this is really for all of you that are still caught up in the drama of the past. You're caught up in the grief. You're caught up in missing that person or that old job or that whatever it is that's keeping you stuck in the past, keeping you caught up in your own monkey mind and the noxious emotions of your own fear and your own lack of self-awareness around you, when you feel that there is really nothing you can do to move forward and you're just making yourself miserable. The culprit, and it's always a culprit, and a lot of us, because of our own ego, because of our own hubris, because we've been hurt, because someone has hurt us or something has hurt us. When it's something that's big and it feels insurmountably too big for us to handle, especially with a major loss, we get caught up in our own story about the could-haves, the should-haves, and we don't really see the big picture, and we just are stuck, and it can impact all areas of our life, especially our work life, our family, and most importantly you, because this is for you to realize when you need to really take a good look at what you're focusing your attention on in your daily life and how it's negatively impacting your ability to be successful in all areas of your life. So tonight this program is for those of you that are still dealing with a major loss. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's negatively impacting you and you are still stuck and are still anxious or depressed, and maybe you're seeing a therapist, or maybe you're taking medication to shake yourself out of feeling stuck and unable to move forward with your life. And again, this is not an easy topic, and I know this, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. If you've been hurt or someone has betrayed you in any capacity, it does not just be a romantic relationship, and you are at wit's end. And this program is for those of you that are struggling to move forward and recreate your life out of the chaos of the past. I'm going to turn this down and I'll be right with you. So, those of you that are currently caught up in your own internal madness, because it really is madness, and neuroscience gives a good scientific explanation of why this is happening. You know, a lot of times how we cope and how we deal with major life challenges, it's a kind of a cocktail of genetics and how past family has dealt with it, what we've learned from past family and how they've dealt with dealing with major life challenges, especially loss. So those of you dealing with a major loss right now, and you've already gone through some of the stages of grief, and for some of you maybe it's a couple of years have gone by, and you're still, because of you're stuck in your own sadness and stuck in your own helplessness, are unable to move forward, and life is passing you by, because it really is. So these are a couple questions I want all of you to ask yourself, you can write this down, and maybe you want to table it for later, or maybe you want to think about it tonight before you go to bed. The first question is, when I wake up in the morning, what am I focusing my attention? Where's my focus of attention? Is it on the misery of a bad breakup, or a loss of an income, or a loss of whatever the loss is? Just fill in the blank. That's question number one. And we're going to go back to question number one because it's really important. Question number two is, do I deserve to have a successful life and to make the most of the life that I currently have in the here and now? That's question number two. Question number three is, why am I renting out headspace in my brain, in my heart, to a person, or to maybe you had a bad falling out with a job and you lost your job, and you really were passionate about the work and you were making a good living, and it's no longer part of your current life existence. What is really keeping me stuck? And a lot of the time, you can save a lot of time, especially a lot of money and therapy and etc., by just sitting down in a quiet space and asking yourself these questions, these really important questions. Because when you really are alone and quiet with yourself, it doesn't matter when, but if you have a quiet space where you can really sit down and really take an internal inventory of why I am feeling helpless, why I'm feeling stuck in the past, and why I'm allowing my headspace to be clogged up with someone or something that is not currently serving my purpose. Because at the end of the day, you ultimately have agency over your thoughts and feelings. Now, getting back to question number one in the neuroscience. What am I focusing my attention on first thing in the morning when I wake up? And if you're feeling like you can't get out of bed and you're really caught up in your own thoughts, we know through neuroscience is what you focus your attention onto. Even the little things. We know through social media, if you play around in social media and you focus too much on social media, you can recalibrate your brain chemistry. The brain is a very adaptable and neuroplastic organ that you ultimately can change the wiring in your brain. It depends on what stimulus you're focusing your attention onto. So, question number one is, how can I rewire my brain to focus on something that, instead of it being catastrophic or something in the past that's already happened, you can't do anything about, it's in the past. What is keeping me from realigning my attention into the positive things in my life, the things that I'm not focusing on, even though they're there, that are going well for me? Because despite your circumstances and despite where you are in your career or in your romantic relationships, there are always good things happening, even if you don't perceive it to be good or positive. And the greatest tragedy in life is not seeing the gifts in between that space of grieving the loss of something or someone and then healing. Because if you've already kind of gotten through some of the major stages of grief when you're dealing with a major loss, the only thing preventing you from taking that next step and getting out of your comfort zone and refocusing your attention on all the opportunities that you may have, and all the little gifts that are there in front of you, in that space in between, in that real uncomfortable space between grieving and healing. There are major gifts, there are major things that if you focus on, you can find solutions to get out of your own way and to move forward and get outside of yourself. Because ultimately, you are the ultimate purveyor of your own success. We all know that. But from a neuroscience perspective, if you're focusing your attention on all the things that have gone wrong in your life, and the partner that has left you, and the job that has left you, and all these people that have died, and not focusing on my future or my current present moment and all the good things that could be possibly happening in your life because of being focused on the past, you are strengthening those neural connections that are focusing on the negative things that you don't want. And again, this is not easy. This takes time and this takes practice. And some of the anecdotes of some of the solutions are being really self-aware, being really cognizant of your thoughts. It doesn't take a lot of effort to focus more on the things in front of you at this current moment. It doesn't take a lot of effort to just focus your attention on, maybe it's the tree in front of your house that's beautiful, that's blooming in this beautiful spring. Or the friends you have, or the family that you have, or the possible job opportunities that you may have. Because no one wants to feel miserable. No one wants to feel like the world is on top of them. And one of the side effects of not getting out of your own way is focusing too much on yourself. Neuroscience also tells us that the more time you focus on the external world and less on yourself, distracting yourself from your thoughts, because your brain, a lot of the time, do not work in your favor. The brain wants to protect you, and it will do everything to protect you from danger. And sometimes, because of past loss and because of past tragedies, we rewire our brain without realizing it, and we get into this toxic routine that is not serving our greater purpose, that is not serving our future success, that is preventing us from being the person that we were put on this earth to be. And again, I'm not sugarcoating any of this, and I'm not saying this is easy, but step by step, just like going to the gym every day and working out for a half hour, 45 minutes, or meditating for a half hour, or taking a walk around the block and getting out of your head and moving forward. Hey, Linda, welcome, all the way from Indonesia. And getting out of your head, instead of focusing, you're so self-focused on your own thoughts, and you're not out there in the world enjoying the world. It's a real tragedy. And the only person that's suffering is you, because everyone else is going on with their life. Everyone else is going about their day. And unfortunately, for those of you that are perfectionists or that are hard on yourself, that are overachievers, good morning, Linda, that are overachievers, unfortunately, when someone like that deals with a loss or you were hurt by someone, it's very hard for folks that are like you, that are really hard on yourself, to move forward when you're just self-focused. You're focused solely on yourself and not the outside world. It's like the brain is there to be a place of creation, to be a place of focusing on all your talents and gifts that all of you have, and all your future plans for success. But you can't get there when you're stuck in your own internal chaos, because the brain will play tricks on you. We know this through neuroscience. And you only strengthen the chaos, you only strengthen the monkey mind, who's not your friend, when you're focusing your attention on your sadness and on the loss, and wondering what I did wrong, what I did to make that happen. You can easily let go of it when you're outside in the world and outside of your head. And we also know that over time, if you practice this on a daily basis, hey, Love Magnetic, welcome. When you practice this on a daily basis, start 10 minutes a day. Whether it's a gratitude journal, whether it's going to the gym before you go to work, and just getting that dopamine going, getting those neurochemicals flowing, and being a real change agent for yourself and taking real responsibility for your own thoughts, the better you'll be to get out of your own way. Because it's really an inside job. Good day, mate. I love it. Love Magnetic from Australia. Thank you for joining. The second piece is Why are you stuck? Why are you stuck there? Because at the end of the day, we get addicted to our own negativity. It's just like anything else. Some people get addicted to gambling. Some people get addicted to their relationships. Some people are addicted, whatever it is, fill in the blank. It becomes this feedback loop, this negative feedback loop that we don't realize we are actually feeding the fire of our own addiction to the chaos of our own internal mind, our own internal chaos. We become a slave to our own addictions. And it's a real shame that we can't see the forest from the trees and see the big picture. Because at the end of the day, whatever happened, it was horrible. We all deal with loss. We all grieve loss. We all have stories of loss, being human beings on this planet. But you were given this gift of life, and you might as well take advantage of every day on this planet. Despite how hard and difficult your situation may be right now, there's always something, and again, I'm not minimizing for some of you the impact a major loss has caused in your daily life and how it negatively impacts your life. But it's never too late tomorrow or the next day to really take an inventory of how I can be a better custodian of my thoughts and what I need to do. And you can start off small. Just look at where your point of attention is in the first thing in the morning. If you're waking up in the morning and you're feeling, oh my God, I'm waking up alone in bed, and the person that I loved is not here, or I'm alone and I can't move forward, and I'm unable to be the person I am because of all that I've lost in my life. Well, that's just strengthening those neural connections for loss, and then we become addicted to the chaos. It really is, and if you look at it from a neuroscience perspective, it's if you can strengthen that negative muscle. Hey, just Marie, welcome. Yes. Resilience is built in all of us, and all of us have the ability to transcend our own internal dogma, our own inner chaos, and see all the great stuff that's could possibly be in our life as a result of really strengthening the neural connections in your brain, the positive things that are going on in your life. Even if there isn't really anything like big and positive, just be really self-aware of all the beautiful things in front of you. And gratitude. A gratitude journal helps. A gratitude journal really helps, but you really have to start believing in yourself, because all of us have the ability to have a life, a successful and grateful life, a life worth living by making the best of the life we have. And the first step is really coming to that realization that you are stuck on yourself. You're caught up in your own nonsense. And they're just thoughts. No matter, despite how painful they are, despite how heavy these thoughts feel, despite your financial situation, despite wherever you are right now in your life, whether you are 25 years old or 80 years old, again, the little things that you can shift and change by focusing on those neurochemicals of belief in yourself, focusing on rewiring those neural connections, by taking small moments out of your day and focusing on what you are grateful for, focusing on how intelligent and how capable you are as a human being, whether it's in your workplace, whether it's with your family, and really focusing on what's possible versus what's not possible. And it was interesting because I was watching this coach. He's a business coach, and he was using very polarizing, kind of like a Vince Lombardi coach, by not wearing people down and being divisive with people and making people feel stupid and inadequate, and then building them back up and showing them what's possible. I don't believe in that methodology. I believe that it's only within us that we could feel that we're worthy of moving forward from the chaos of of our internal neurochemistry and the past, because ultimately they're just thoughts. Thank you. It's my pleasure. And that you ultimately have real control over your your attention and where you're focusing your thoughts on. And again, for those of you that have been in this negative feedback loop of focusing on what's wrong with your life and focusing on what you don't have and focusing on the sorrow and the loss, the harder it's going to be for you to see how grateful it is just to be alive and wake up every morning and to have the gift of life. And again, some of you might be rolling your eyes and saying, well, I tried all that and it didn't work. Well, you didn't try hard enough. You didn't try hard enough. And I don't believe that you really did the work. And again, it doesn't have to be complicated. Overthinking it and being really hard on yourself is not going to help either. Keep it really simple. You can get a piece of paper out and write down first thing in the morning, instead of focusing on what the chaos is going on in your head and how much you miss that person, or how much you wish that you had this, that, and the other. Focus on what you want. Focus on what you are looking for in a future partner, or in a future job, or a place where you want to live. It does not have to be some kind of business plan. You don't have to recreate the wheel. Again, you can watch 1,000 TED Talks. You can go on London Reel and watch every known speaker that talks about the neuroscience of attention. What it comes down to is being really pragmatic with your life. Keep things really simple. The first step is just being self-aware of where your thoughts are going. If you're going 0 dark 30, you're going down that rabbit hole of how difficult your life is, and how horrible your situation is, and how much you are in pain. Well, that's not a neural connection that you want to strengthen, because our brain is a big coping muscle. The brain, if left to its own devices, is there to protect you and keep you stuck in your own misery. If you believe in God, if you believe in a higher power, the brain is set to default mode, which is survival mode. Way back when, hundreds of thousands of years ago, when we were living in caves, the amygdala, the limbic system, and our survival portion of your brain, the limbic system and the amygdala, that had real utility. That was really designed to protect you from a saber-toothed tiger or from a wild animal. Today, thank goodness we have technology to protect us against the saber-toothed tiger. But evolution, unfortunately, doesn't work in our favor because of social media and because our overstimulated minds is not helping us. The other thing is turning off social media and just giving it a day of rest. And I've been trying this on Sundays. I'm here with you on Sunday, but this is for you. And keeping your mind as quiet as possible, and not purposely overstimulating your mind with nonsense on Facebook if it's not serving it's not serving your purpose. It's kind of like if you buy a plant for your house, you want to give it the right amount of sunlight, you want to feed it with the right amount of water, you want to really take care of the plant. Well, you're not going to throw acid on the plant, you're not going to put Coca-Cola into the soil to make it grow. Well, Coca-Cola is kind of like social media. Coca-Cola is great once in a while, but if it's taking over your day and you're constantly on social media, there are a lot of studies that show that social media over time can make you more anxious, can make you more fearful, and especially what's going on in the world. Also, don't watch the news, or if you're really interested in civics and in politics, spend 2 minutes watching the news and then turn it off. There are a lot of things that you can prevent yourself from going down that negative rabbit hole. Because what we want to do, for those of you that are stuck in your own grief still, and it's been a couple of years since you've since you had the major loss, is strengthen your coping muscle and by focusing on your point of attention that is serving your greater purpose and is healthy and fruitful for you. I hope this has been helpful. It's an honor and privilege to be of service to all of you. If you're interested in my work, check out my website. Go to www.solutionist180.com. You can DM me for more information on how I can help you kind of get out of your own way and start being successful again. And the one thing to remember with these exercises is to not overthink it. And ultimately, if you can be pragmatic about your brain and about your point of attention and where you're focusing your thoughts on, just like you might be pragmatic with your finances or with other things in your life that you're really good at. Maybe you're a stock market whiz, or maybe you have a great yoga practice, or whatever it is. Think about your thoughts and how you wake up in the morning and how important that is over anything. More so than any of these things. Because if you're waking up in the morning and you're feeling the world's on top of you and you're feeling that, I can't move forward with my life and everything is falling apart for me, well, things are going to continue to fall apart from you because you're focused so much on your thoughts. You're focused so much on yourself, and that's not healthy. If you can be of service to yourself by being out in the world and taking a risk and getting out of your comfort zone and changing your routine up and being really a good custodian of where you're focusing your attention on. I'm not saying being hyper-focused on those things or being OCD about your focus of attention, but you can also, oh, thank you, that's very sweet. You can also just take it one step at a time, one day at a time, and just be cognizant of where you're focusing your attention on. And these little steps really have big impact over time. Spend 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Wake up 10 minutes early. If you have to be at work at 9, and you wake up at 6 in the morning. These are little behavioral exercises you can do. You don't have to learn to become an expert meditator. It helps. You don't have to change everything all at once. The other thing is be real cognizant of your sleep. If you're having problems sleeping and you're stuck in the chaos of your own grief and your own sadness and your own depression, the way you can unwrap some of that is to be your own neuroscientist, is to be a real casual observer or sound observer when it comes to the chaos going on in your head. I mean, can you imagine for a second if walking around where you live, whether your city or town, and you could actually tap in and listen to what other people's internal dogma, what's going on in their head? Can you imagine? That'd be chaos. It'd be like it would just, no one would be able to function. There would be no commerce. There'd be no economy. Everyone would just be, hiding from each other because the thoughts that people would be broadcasting would be all negative. The same thing goes with yourself. It's so important that you are a good custodian of your thoughts and being really cognizant of that. If you can start doing that, it doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to slip up, Everyone feels sad sometimes. Everyone, can feel anxious sometimes. Life is sometimes throws us curveballs. But who wants to feed the fire if you have some control over it? Anxiety is a byproduct of our evolutionary brain that you ultimately have control over. And if it's eating you up inside and you're unable to move forward because of your anxiety and what you're focusing your attention on, it's time to take real empowering steps to move forward, to get out of your head, be less stuck on yourself, and move forward through life. Hope this has been helpful. Again, my website, www.solutionist180.com. You can also DM me and we can have a little 10-minute power session and see how I can be of help to you. Have a great week. Don't give up, and I will see you next time. Same bat time, same bat channel. IGDB Live.